What's up, everybody? This is Andy from StarWars.com here at Lucasfilm headquarters. This week, I am not only taking you behind the scenes of our newest episode, Always True There Are, but I'll also take you to New York Comic Con for a panel with Sarah Michelle Gellar. This is Rebels Recon. Hera sends the crew to salvage much-needed supplies from an abandoned base. Unfortunately for the rebels, the abandoned base isn't so abandoned after all.
Not who we're looking for.
How many of these guys are there?
2! Sacrificing himself so the others can escape, Ezra bravely takes a stand against these two new mysterious Inquisitors.
Such a noble act. Just like a Jedi.
I'm learning.
Now captured, Ezra refuses to talk, while Zeb and Chopper hatch a last-minute escape plan.
Good plan, Zeb.
Let's not get all emotional.
Earlier this month, we went to New York Comic Con where cast and crew members gathered to talk to fans about Season 2 and welcome the seventh sister to the Star Wars universe. Check it out.
Sarah Michelle, what can you tell us about the seventh sister and what draws you to this role?
Well, I can tell you nothing, for fear that I will lose my house. No, I think for me what I loved about her, and I always look for strong female characters, she's a thinking man's baddie. She doesn't just go in for the kill. She wants to play with you. She wants to see what she can get out of you. She wants to have some fun torturing you, and then she'll kill you. I'm part of Star Wars. I mean, that's like kind of the craziest part that overwhelms me, is that I've now created a character that will live in the universe and the history, and to me that's just so incredibly overwhelming. And I think that sometimes Star Wars gets a bad rap for not having these female characters, and I think that's a mistake. I mean, you go back to the original movies, and sure, you know, in the beginning Leia was captured, but she fought her own battles, and she stood up, and you introduce Padme and Ahsoka and all of these women that battle on their own, and specifically now with Rebels, and I see it with Sabine and Hera.
It's the first female villain in this era that we've seen, so that's pretty exciting.
This is for Sarah. You are the reason, your portrayal of all of your characters is the reason that I overcome so much struggle in my life.
As we saw this week, the Empire seems to have an army of Inquisitors waiting to hunt down any remaining Jedi. We got a chance to talk with Dave and Pablo about these new characters and their place in the Star Wars galaxy.
2 new Inquisitors are introduced in Always True There Are. What can you tell us about these new mysterious characters?
Well, now we're starting to understand the structure of the Inquisitorius a bit more. I mean, it's still wrapped up in mystery, and for good reason. But we now understand that the Inquisitor from Season 1 is the Grand Inquisitor, and these 2 new Inquisitors follow in his footsteps.
We reveal that they refer to each other as brother and sister at this point, which of course they're not related, but it's kind of to make them feel more like some kind of strange cult. They're not called Darths because they're not Sith.
Right.
So they're first brother, second brother, third brother.
They have numbers in their names, which, I don't know, to me suggests that there's a desire for advancement. Now, what exactly they mean, we're not ready to say just yet, but it does suggest that there's a small number of them and that there's a degree of competition among them.
When Kanan dispatches the first Inquisitor, that's actually the head of that group.
Yeah.
The Grand Inquisitor.
He
so
like
it's a big
kicked
deal.
the beehive there, like.
Yeah, it creates a vacuum too, so now they're all competing.
I will say, as we go through Season 2, you're going to find out more about where they came from. You may not get into the bureaucracy of the Imperial organization, but you will find out more in terms of their origins.
You will learn a great deal about the Grand Inquisitor. You'll be able to guess at who the Grand Inquisitor was. This is a cruel thing to say, but it's not the first time you've ever seen him. He has been in the Clone Wars. You just didn't know it.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. That was interesting. Next up, Chopper. All right, Chopper, thank you very much. Judges, what did you think of that?
I love it. I don't know what you're supposed to be, but it looks great.
As always, you guys had a ton of questions about this week's episode. And lucky for you, I was able to track down Pablo to get some answers.
Hey, Pablo. This week's question comes from Jordan Binkard, who asks,
Are the ties on the show different from those seen elsewhere? The cockpit should be too cramped for passengers.
Oh, right. Well, you know, the wings are smaller, but that's more of a stylistic thing. It's not meant to be a separate model or version of the tie or anything. You know, the camera angles that you see in the movie looking at the pilots, it's shot in a particular lens that looks really, really cramped. If you look at the photography that was shot on set, it's a lot roomier than you think. And in fact, we've got something here that might help answer a few questions. Bill George from ILM built this tie cockpit that really illustrates the point. It's based on photography, and the interior is appropriately scaled. So if you take a look, you could fit 3 people in there.
Awesome. Thanks, Pablo. What's that? You have more Rebels questions? Tweet them to @StarWars using the hashtag RebelsRecon and we'll answer what we can online. But now, check out an exclusive clip from next week's episode, Brothers of the Broken Horn.
Aim, then fire. Rex, I bet sometimes even you miss.
Speaking of, you're missing Jedi training, which is now, remember?
You know, I can't be in 2 places at once.
As a soldier, you're gonna have to learn to prioritize.
Well, he's not a soldier. He's a Jedi.
Yeah. What if I don't want to be either?
Thanks for watching Rebels Recon. We'll be back next week with another brand new episode. But in the meantime, check out our episode guide for Always 2 There Are and watch for more Rebels announcements only on StarWars.com. What's up, Rebels fans? This is Andy from StarWars.com here at Lucasfilm headquarters. This week, we are going behind the scenes of Relics of the Old Republic, the latest episode of Star Wars Rebels. So shut those blast doors and cue the theme music. Rebels Recon starts right now.